Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Good afternoon and welcome to the Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. I am Zoe Abube-Eduardo. Coming up, former Minister of State in charge of Finance, Abinose Asare, criticizes the 2025 budget for failing to make provision for the completion of Agenda 111 projects.
I also didn't see any funding being allocated to the Agenda 111. So we are not saying that in one financial year complete all the Agenda 111 projects, but at least come up with a plan.
We would also bring you reasons from the Deputy Finance Minister designate Thomas Nyakwamping on government's proposal to increase the growth and sustainability levy imposed on mining companies. Still in the post-budget reactions, GPRTU disappointed over the government's decision to maintain fuel levies.
We know emission has been taken off, but what is sanitation still looking for among the taxes and levies which build up on the fuel is still there.
Also coming up, Greater Accra Regional Minister promises action as she deploys task force to safeguard Ramsar sites.
We are going to have a task force in place which will comprise the chairman, the TDC rep, the Forestry Commission rep, National Security rep.
Asankragua Magistrate Court orders main suspect in the attack on CTFM's Western Regional Correspondent Akwesi Ejenim to pay for the destruction of the journalist's equipment. And later, Minister for Energy and Green Transition assures Kumasi residents of stable power supply after weeks of lamentation on power disruptions on their operations. This bulletin is live across our partner stations. In the Bono region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, Savannah region, Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo. In the Volta region, we're on Sela Radio 91.7 FM in Dabala, Holy FM 98.5 in Aplao. Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi, Focus 94.3 FM, also in Kumasi on the Kenya University campus. Western region, Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM. In the Northeast region, we're on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalarugu, North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale, which is in the Northern region. Upper East region, Recast 92.1 FM in Bongo Namu, and in the Upper West region, we're on Tupani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli and Drapa, 96.1 FM in Drapa. Across the globe, we are live on citinewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for staying with us on the Citi Prime News. Now, former Minister of State in charge of Finance, Abinose Asare, has criticized the 2025 budget for failing to make provision for the completion of the Agenda 111 projects. The Eswal Ekufuado government started the ambitious project in 2022 to build 111 hospitals across the country in 18 months. Reacting to the presentation of the 2025 budget on the Citi Breakfast Show, Abinose Asare lamented the absence of budget lines for the project.
I also didn't see any funding being allocated to the Agenda 111. Bernard, these are public financing that we have invested in these projects. And so we are not saying that in one financial year complete all the Agenda 111 projects. That is not possible. But at least come up with a plan that will tell us that in 2025, I am committing 100, 200 million to completing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We did not see anything like that. But rather, we saw, government taking out all the annual budget funding amounts, that's the oil revenue, and putting it into the big push. The big push was giving about 13.7 billion Ghana cedis. They claim it's a $10 billion project, and you have begun with just 800 million. Within 4 years, how are they going to fulfill this promise? So I see much much, like plenty talk, but the actual funding or the thing to back this talk to make it a reality is not there.
Meanwhile, Deputy Finance Minister nominee Thomas Nyakwampem described the argument of Abena Osei-Asare as double standard. He assured that detailed budgetary allocation across various sectors will be provided by respective ministers. He also spoke on the City Breakfast Show.
Is it Abena of the MPP, deputy to Kanoforiata, deputy to Amin Anta, who is speaking like this? Did they know that they could have finished a few instead of starting over 111 projects scattered all over the length and breadth of this country with little resources? Did they know that would have been the best approach to go? You have started over 100 hospitals. Some are at foundation levels. Some are at lentils. That they are at different levels of construction. You know you could have used that money that you spread thinly to complete a number of them and make them functional. You didn't do it. And now you are asking us that at least we could have finished a few and make them functional for the people. I mean, what kind of double standard is this? The approach of Dr. Atto-Forson was to leave sector details to sector ministers to come and talk about. So the details as to how many roads will be constructed this year, how many hospitals will be constructed, how many boreholes be done, and all those details will be given by the various sector ministers.
That was Thomas Nyakwampem, who's the Deputy Finance Minister nominee. Now, back to the Member of Parliament for Itiwa East and former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abena Osei-Asare, who has raised concerns over the government's decision to uncap the Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund, in the 2025 budget. According to her, the intention behind this move remains questionable, considering its implications for Ghana's education financing and adherence to constitutional provisions. Abena Osei-Asare argued that reallocating GET Fund resources to finance other expenditures could be deemed unconstitutional.
The capped revenue, which is also part of public funds, is put in the consolidated fund and then used to also fund other equally important things. Consistently, we use the capped revenue to support goods and services of the government. We also use some of the part of the capped revenue to pay for compensation. So it's not like we cap it and then we don't know what we use it for. We put it back in the consolidated fund and then use it for other equally important things. So it's neither here nor there. All we are saying is that whatever monies that are given to them, if they use it efficiently, they will see results. And and government cannot also say that the uncapped GET Fund is what they are going to use to fund free SHS, because when you look at the GET Fund Act, it does not. It's more of infrastructure, and free SHS is more of goods and services, because you need to pay for books, you need to pay for food. So it's more of consumption. Such that if you tell us that you are uncapping GET Fund and you are going to use that GET Fund money to pay for free SHS, it's neither here nor there.
She's also indicated that government's revenue projections for the 2025 amidst tax cuts are unreliable. According to her, she's concerned that the government's alternative revenue mobilization efforts are not sustainable.
When you look at the employment and the compensations budget alone, it tells you how much government is spending on less than 1 million employees. So I was hoping that we will create that enabling environment for the private sector to lift that burden of government. But to be honest with you, I did not see those things in the budget. One, yes, they did take out certain taxes, or they are planning on bringing the amendment to Parliament for certain taxes to be abolished. He mentioned the COVID levy, he mentioned the e-levy. But what they are replacing it with is not sustainable. The e-levy and the COVID levy alone, when you look in their budget, Ghana 4.7 billion in 2024. And then here you are providing a revenue handle that is giving a replacement that is giving 3.8 billion. And even that is not sustainable. That replacement is not sustainable. So that if you are taking these tax handles that provide us with a substantial amount of revenue, you should also bring in something that is sustainable, something that is reliable.
That was the former Minister of State in charge of Finance, Abna Osei Asare. Meanwhile, the Deputy Finance Minister designate Thomas Nyarko Ampem says the Mahama government is delivering on its promises and remains resolute to cut out waste.
Ghanaians watched your demeanor in the chamber and everything. They knew that you were shocked that, hey, could somebody bring such a wonderful budget in Ghana today? The taxes that we have removed, in fact, if you look at the yield of the betting tax and then the e-levy, it comes to about 2 billion. We have said that we are making up this difference with the reduction in the tax refund that has been abused over the years. And this is a very important point that we have made, that we looked at the utilization of the tax refund account, funds from the tax refund account over the last 8 years. And on average, it is only 43% of the amount accrued that go into the actual reason for that account. That goes into tax refund. The rest of it is abused, is misapplied.
The Member of Parliament for Isujaman, Thomas Nyarko Ampem, also defended the government's proposal to increase the growth and sustainability levy imposed on mining companies. The proposed adjustment will see the levy rise from 1% to 3% of the gross production of mining firms, aiming to increase national revenue generation. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, the Deputy Minister for Finance designate explained that the increment is necessary to enable the government to capture a fair share of revenue from the mining sector.
This is a windfall tax. The minister explained this clearly, that look, the economic rent that accrues is so much. It's about 14%, and we are taking only 1%. That is not enough. Every Ghanaian has been complaining so many years now about us not taking advantage, getting enough benefit from our extractives. And so if they are making so much profit because prices on the world market price of gold has gone up, it is just good that as a country we benefit a little more from that. And the incidence of this tax is not on the ordinary Ghanaian. The incidence of the tax is on the mining companies, the big mining companies. Even subsequent to that, we have removed the 1.5% withholding tax on the one that affects the small SMEs, the small mining companies. We have removed that. So this is an opportunity for the country to make a little more from the huge profits that the mining companies are making.
That was the Deputy Minister for Finance designate and Member of Parliament for Isujaman, Thomas Nyarko Ampem. Let's still bring you some reactions following the presentation of the 2025 budget in Parliament yesterday. Now, teacher trainees across the country have welcomed the continuation of allowance payments as announced in the budget presentation yesterday. The Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atofo-Singh, stated in his presentation that 203 million cedis has been allocated for the payment of teacher trainee allowances. Speaking to Citi News, the President of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Swali Razak, expressed optimism that the payments will be made without delay.
For us, the budget is one that we are happy to learn that government is still allocating some funds to the payment or to the sustainability of the teacher training allowances. As we've always defended our case, teacher training allowances, as reintroduced somewhere in 2017, was to help the teacher trainee take care of other academic expenses and also take care of some expenses that people find it difficult to pay. I mean, the less well-to-do or less privileged in the colleges. So we are happy that budgetary allocation has been made to the payment of the teacher training allowances, and going forward, just like we kept engaging the ministry and then other stakeholders, we'll keep engaging them to ensure that what has been budgeted for really is disbursed to all of us and our members for us to benefit from it. Since this is a new government, we are expecting a different approach to the whole issue. The government will be more responsive in the disbursement of the teacher training allowances so that the purpose for which it is being paid will gladly be met.
Addressing calls for the discontinuation of teacher trainee allowances, Swale Razak argued that these allowances in some cases help attract talented individuals to the teaching profession.
We've seen various EOSOs expressing their opinion as to the continuation or the payment of the teacher training allowances. For us as students, we have always solidly presented our case that the teacher training allowances, it was the purpose only is not to attract people into the teaching profession, but to also help people to be able to have teacher education. And just like other social services we have in the country, including the security services, the health, the agricultural trainees, we are trainees in the college of education. And just like government would always wish to post us to the very deprived and primitive communities to be able to help the marginalized group. These are some benefits that will actually attract people who are academically good and also people who do not consider the teaching profession as a well-paying job to actually embrace the teaching profession and also undertake college.
President of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Swale Razak. Meanwhile, the National Union of Ghana Students has welcomed government's decision to uncap GET Fund. Daniel Koliboche is the NUC's president.
NUC is excited about many policy interventions in the budget statement that was read by the finance minister, particularly on capping GET Fund, which is something NUC has advocated for many years now, due to the fact that GET Fund was set up to finance education infrastructure across the country, and the capping had led to a lot of challenges in education infrastructure. And so, therefore, the uncapping of GET Fund is one thing that NUC is quite excited about, and more so setting up a dedicated fund for funding free SHS. There's one area that NUC has also been excited about since the presentation of the budget. We have advocated for it.
That was the president of NUC's, Daniel Koliboche. You're still listening to City Prime News. I am Zoe Abubedwado. We'll bring you more reactions following the presentation of the 2025 budget yesterday. And also, Greater Accra Regional Minister promises action as she deploys a task force to safeguard the Ramsar sites. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
This year, something magical is happening. A celebration of tradition, flavor, and community. Welcome to the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025.
Taste the heart of your heritage with mouth-watering dishes from across the country like Ademe with akple, Tozafi with ayoyo soup, kokonte, apapransa, rare kwine, and many more. From rich spices to sweet treats, it's a journey for your senses. We're taking you back to your village.
Oh yes, let's recreate our age-old recipes.
But it's not just about food, you know. We're celebrating culture, connecting with family, and making memories that last a lifetime.
This March, let's come together and discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 29th and 30th of March 2025. The venue, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025, where food, fun, and tradition meet. See you there.
Interested vendors should call 0558-973-973 or 0205-973-973 to register. The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino, Goa Natural Cocoa Fruit Juice, and Pan-African Savings and Loans.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You all come back to the City Prime News. Now, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has expressed disappointment over the government's decision not to remove key levies on fuel prices. Although the government has announced the removal of the emission levy and VAT on motor vehicle insurance policies, the union argues that these measures do not provide direct relief to its members. According to the GPRTU, the government's priority should have been eliminating taxes on fuel prices to ease the financial burden on transport operators. Speaking to City News, the union's industrial relations officer Abbas Imoro stated that the leadership will convene to determine their next course of action.
We know emission has been taken off, but what is sanitation still looking for among the taxes and levies which build up on the fuel? It's still there. Something like fuel marking, for instance, who were expecting that will also get out of the remaining taxes and levies. Still there. All the components that we use in running transport, the prices have shot up. So we were thinking we would have some of these things taken off so that our drivers will have a little breathing space. Since most of these things are still there, we are afraid we will just assemble ourselves and look at the next line of action by trying to come up with an upward adjustment in lorry fares.
That was the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Imoro. The leadership of trader groups in the Ashanti region is demanding clarity from the government on how it intends to fund and complete Phase 2 of the KJTR market. The project was listed among stalled projects in the 2025 budget statement. The traders insist that the Finance Ministry must provide specific allocations and timelines for the project's completion. The project was halted due to the previous administration's debt restructuring program. Although contractors have resumed work on the project, President of the Federation of Kumasi Traders, Nana Akwesi Prempe, is urging the government to prioritize its completion.
I was glad he acknowledged that the Phase 2 was not completed, but I wasn't much enthused about it because he did not make any specific declaration on it. He only mentioned KJTR as part of that 55 stalled projects, and he said they were going to engage the IMF, and then in due course they were going to see what to do. So by looking at the other sectors, he was able to make specific allocations to those projects, but with KJTR there was no specific allocation.
But how important will the completion of this project be?
Well, KJTR is a strategic infrastructure within Kumasi metropolis, because it's used to house about 15,000 traders, those in lockable shops, and since its demolition, it has had effect on the general trading activities in the region. So if the government makes it a priority project and tackle it head on, I think it will bring relief to the people of Kumasi and the Ashanti region as a whole.
Meanwhile, the trader unions have petitioned the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amakohene, to establish a new management team to oversee the affairs of Phase 1 of the KJTR market.
We recommended that the managing director should be made to proceed on immediate leave so that the regional minister can set up an ad hoc IMC to oversee the day-to-day activities or the running of the facility, because a lot is not going on that pleases we the traders, and I can say gradually KJTR is coming on in news just 5 years into its full operation. Though I'm not a technical man, but based on my engagement with the quality control officer of the contractor who built the facility, I can say currently the structural integrity of the facility is suspect. That
was the president of the Federation of Kumasi Traders, Nana Akwesi Prempe. Now, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, says power supply in Kumasi in the Ashanti region has improved following measures taken by the government. Domestic and commercial power consumers in Kumasi, the capital of the Ashanti region, have lamented the impact of power disruptions on their operations. Answering questions on the floor of Parliament, the sector minister attributed the situation to the increased demand for power in the enclave and technical challenges.
In mid-February of this year, GRIDCO has completed a 145 MVA transformer at the Angumaso Bore supply point. This has also improved power supply situation in Kumasi and reduced the need to shed load from the rate substation. I intend to visit Kumasi within this week to see for myself the extent of work and to commission that major bulk supply points. We are also undertaking some additional works to strengthen the network, make it more resilient, and ensure that we are able to supply safe, reliable, and consistent power.
You heard the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor. Moving on to some other stories, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Okulu, has assured that the Sakumono and Temaramsa sites will be protected. She expressed concern that encroachment on these sites has worsened, with developers continuing to build on the wetlands. Speaking to the press ahead of an exercise to inspect the sites, Madam Okulu stated that a task force will be deployed to safeguard the areas and ensure strict enforcement of relevant environmental regulations and existing laws.
I want to assure you that the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council will intensify its efforts to safeguard this wetland. I would further wish to use this opportunity to make a clear call on all well-meaning Ghanaians to act responsible, to respect the laws governing our wetlands and contribute to safeguarding the Temasakumono Ramsar site, the Densu Delta Ramsar site, and all other Ramsar sites for further generations.
That was the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Okulu. The Managing Director of the Tema Development Company, Courage Kweku Makafui Nunekweku, has stated that all these developers constructing new structures on the Tema Ramsar site have been cautioned to cease their activities. According to him, many of them have ignored the warning, which is why the exercise is taking place.
The fresh ones they are doing, those are the ones we are trying to stop them. And yesterday we were here, we wrote on the walls, stop, they will not stop. So the best thing to do now, the fresh one they are doing, pull it down. Then we are taking away some of their materials to prevent them from coming back in the night. Because we understand they work day and night. Day and night. Nobody have pulled down anybody's building. No, we are not doing that. That's not the exercise we are here to do. We are here to educate them. We are here to let them understand that enough. The little that is, remaining, let's protect it. That's all.
What happens to the old ones?
Is that phase 2. We will engage those who have the old one or those who have encroached and built on it already. We engage them, have that conversation, then we'll pick it up from there. We reinforce the place, get the task force to be around to give us the alert when they are coming on, updates when they are coming, then we know what to do next.
You heard the Managing Director of Tema Development Company, Courage Kweku Makafui Nunekweku. Now, the Asankragua Magistrate Court in the Western Region has ordered Daniel Bedu, the main suspect in the attack on Citi FM and Channel 1 TV's Western Regional correspondent, Akwesi Ejay Enim, to pay for the destruction of the journalist's equipment. Daniel Bedu, believed to be a member of the family that sold the Adomenya land to illegal miners, allegedly led a group of Galamsey operators in a violent assault on Akwesi Ejay Enim and 2 other journalists on Friday, February 12, 2025. The journalists were filming in the company of police personnel when the attack occurred. During the assault, equipment such as cameras, laptops and phones were destroyed. At the court's last sitting on Wednesday, March 5, 2025, the judge ordered Daniel Bedu to pay for the damage, which is valued at over 37,000 cedis. Additionally, the court issued a bench warrant for 4 other suspects who remain on the run. Meanwhile, the journalists have also been ordered to appear before the court on the next adjourned date, March 26. Now, President John Dramani Mahama is courting the support of the international community to partner government to complete the stalled Agenda 111 hospital started by the previous administration. The president is on record to have said his government needs $1.7 billion to finish the hospitals. Speaking at the presentation of letters of credentials from 5 newly appointed envoys to serve as ambassadors in Ghana, President Mahama said his government will be key on private partnerships in the provision of essentials in sectors like healthcare delivery.
With regards to healthcare, would like to see what the cooperation is. We do have a problem with our hospital facilities. The previous government started a huge project in healthcare, building more than 100 hospitals, and somehow we're stuck because they spent a lot of money and not been able to operationalize any of them. And so we're looking to see if we can have some cooperation with the private sector or any entrepreneurs that are into hospital management to finish those hospitals and manage them over a period of time in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service. And so that's an area that is open to.
That was President John Dramani Mahama, and that's how we draw the curtains on today's edition of City Prime News, which came to you live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. Log on to our website, citynewsroom.com, for more news. I am Zoe Abube Eduardo. Good afternoon.
City News.